Hey, what is up, guys? Today we have Daren, and this is actually his second time appearing on this channel, and we have actually done a few videos together. In fact, we actually just filmed another video, so remember to check out Daren's channel. I'll put it right here for you. So Daren, let's talk about Tesla, and it's been some time since we last met in June, I believe. So a lot has changed. The US market, a lot of rate hikes have been being done by the Federal Reserve. In this year alone, more than 400 bps of rate hike. And next week, because we are filming right before the FOMC meeting, we're gonna get another rate hike as well. So a total of 450, 500 bps rate hike in the span of 12 to 14 months. And crypto market, it's literally gone, right? The S&P 500 down almost 20% this year to date. And over on Tesla, our favorite, Tesla is down about 55% year to date. And the fear of earnings recession is looming when we see that the average American's savings are going down so much. And well, of course, that will translate to a potential earnings recession because discretionary spending, Tesla as a car, Tesla as an expensive product, will there be a fear of a demand destruction when it comes to Tesla? And also, we see that competitors like BYD is ramping up their efforts and competing so ferociously. In Malaysia, BYD actually just announced that they are launching in Malaysia. The BYD Aero 3 is starting at 150,000 ringgit, and that's actually very affordable. So
Half the price of Tesla in Malaysia right now.
yeah, easily half the price of Tesla, the base model of Tesla Model 3. So Daren, what's your outlook and what's your take? Maybe share with me a little bit of your opinion towards Tesla right now.
Every time we are on Ziet's channel, Tesla stock price will go down one.
For some
Last
reason.
time we met, right, it was down I think 20+%.
Yeah.
Now it's down about 55%. See where that goes. Where we've been is we went from a very high optimism of the bull market 18 months ago to now the very high pessimism for bear market today. We've seen the very rapid swings in just under 2 years. So for investors, you really wonder what's going on with Tesla.
Yeah.
We talk about being long-term investors. It's very hard to be a long-term investor when you feel that your investments are going down way more than other companies that you feel that the fundamentals are not so strong. Some of the traditional automotive companies are doing better from a stock price standpoint than Tesla. But Ziet also educated me that companies like Tesla have high beta, high volatility. That means very high upside, very high downside. When the S&P 500 goes down by 20%, Tesla will go down by 40-50%. Amazon's also been down 40-50% as well. I think in this time, it is a good reminder to double check our convictions. We say we are long-term investors. Easy to say in a bull market. Now in a bear market, we are tested. We ask ourselves, you have sleepless nights. You wake up worried. If that happens, I think that's a signal that our convictions are not as strong as we like to believe it to be. Our conscious level of conviction versus our subconscious belief in it. Peace of mind is very important. For me personally, I've been okay. I've always said if the stock goes down by 50%, that's part of long-term investing. Warren Buffett say as well, if you're not willing to buy the stock when it's down 50%, don't buy it today. I also remind myself that I'm not literally all in on Tesla. I'm not 100% in on Tesla. In my public stock portfolio, I'm right now 77% Tesla, 20% Apple, and a little bit like 3% on.
They're very similar portfolio.
Yeah, so same but different. I see the fundamentals of Tesla being stronger in a recession. Because in a recession, strong companies thrive. Companies that are not strong grow weaker. Cash flow, profits are so critical. Tesla uniquely has been growing their profit margins and cash flow. Even in recent news, they cut prices 2 times in China. The car market in China gone down year on year by 9%. Tesla sales in domestic China gone up by double. It got up 100% this year to date. If I look at their execution, we invest in this company that's supposed to execute well. Did they activate and launch Giga Texas in Berlin? Yes. Did they need to ramp up faster? Yes, they do. It's not perfect, but these 2 factories are there. These 2 factories are potential. This is in a context where most other car companies are not building new factories. In fact, they are even shutting down production lines. Toyota, a few other companies are shutting down production lines. very few companies like BYD. BYD is building a new EV factory in Thailand. Apart from Tesla, BYD, the fundamentals are much tougher than the rest of the industry. For 8 years, people have been asking, full self-driving beta, it's a dream, it's a joke, never been released. North America is now wide release. That means it went from 160,000 users just a month ago to now 300,000 users. Basically, anyone who has FSD in North America can use it. And low commitment. You don't need to pay like 16,000 upfront. If Ziet and I buys a Model 3 or Model Y in California, we just pay a monthly subscription, test 1 month. Like Netflix, I don't like unsubscribe program, can trial. So that software revenue means this quarter, Tesla can actually recognize a fair bit of deferred revenue. And ongoing, I think it gives people more confidence.
Better margin.
I see the fundamentals looking good. Jan also mentioned Elon Musk is more distracted, right? Isn't that ironic that Tesla is run by a CEO who's running multiple companies and they're executing as well as, if not better than most other car companies? That's actually a bullish signal for me. In fact, recently, when people asked Elon, are you still working on Tesla and SpaceX? He said on Twitter, yeah, but the teams are running so well that they need little input from me. I'm still overseeing them. His top 2 priorities this year are still FSD beta launch. It's already done in North America. And Starship orbital launch. Fingers crossed later this month.
Yeah, I was just talking to Daren about Twitter. I just give a little bit context to the audience. I was talking to Daren about Elon Musk being seemingly distracted with Twitter, and also he's just being super political, just ping-ponging with the Democrats as well. So that itself is honestly it's a area of concern because you are stepping out of your comfort zone already. You are reaching out to more people. But understandably, I personally believe that Elon is actually just there to drive up the daily active users for Twitter, and probably this is part of the digital marketing strategy. Like, we never know, right? So that is done. So Daren, now we are approaching 2023. People say that recession is probably coming, right? And Elon Musk himself also tweeted that too much rate hikes probably will induce a recession, and it's going to be bad. So what do you think about Tesla as a whole? Is it still a strong investment right now as compared to other companies? And also, what's your exit plan? Is there anything that will trigger you to sell Tesla?
For me, in this situation, Tesla is a stronger long-term investment because while the price has went down, the value has went up. Some people say Tesla uses a PE ratio of 1100, 1100 PE. The PE now is closer to 50. Other people have still criticized. Ford has a PE of 8. Volkswagen has PE of like 4 or 5. So it's still overvalued. Check BYD's PE ratio. BYD is a PE ratio of 55. If you look at companies like Amazon, the PE ratio is like 87. Apple a bit lower, like Apple around 20 plus PE. So if you had conviction in Tesla before the recession, before the stock price reduction, as a long-term investor, the value is solid. So I see Tesla being more attractive for long-term investors. Long-term means you hold at least 5 years. For people who need a return within 2 to 3 years, I think Tesla is probably a less attractive investment now. Not just because of recession, but because, to Ziet's point, if you're a new investor, you see Tesla, you see the CEO running multiple companies. For most people, it's going to be very hard to process this. Right? Because if you're a new investor, you look at Tesla, the financial looks solid, right? But then people tell you the PE is too high. People tell you that the CEO is meddling in politics, very risky. So it will create a lot of confusion for new investors. For new investors, it's kind of like dating. You buy multiple stocks because you date multiple people first. With Tesla, it's like a marriage. Usually people who invest in Tesla, they have a pretty big part of their portfolio under Tesla, 60% or more, as you can see from both of us. So it's not for everyone. I think for long-term investors, you are convinced, that's something you can think about. For most people, find something that you have the comfort factor, and I think for both our portfolio, we have Apple. Apple is easy to understand. It's well loved by retail institutional investors. It's relatively liquid. It pays dividends. It is truly the ultimate entry-level, newbie-friendly stock.
And speaking about newbie-friendly stock, I've had questions from my followers that they ask me, Ziet, Tesla is so huge, got EV, got solar, got so many things left and right. It's so hard to understand Tesla. Daren, is there any way for a newbie or a completely new investor into the market, or just new towards Tesla? What are the things that you need to look into? What are the entry-level kind of information or the top line that people should look into Tesla so that they can understand the company better and then eventually choose to invest in them. Because understandably, Tesla has a beta of 1.9, which is the volatility against the broad market. 1.9 is very high, and in comparison, Apple has a beta of 1.1 only. So choosing to go into such a volatile stock, it takes a lot of conviction. And conviction, safe to say, can only be built through knowledge. So maybe you can share a little bit more on that.
I think a simple starting point for new investors to Tesla: read their quarterly earnings, read their annual impact report, and listen to their earnings call. The Tesla earnings calls are relatively direct, pretty straightforward, and there's a very strong retail investor base. Most of the top questions on say.com when they ask for investor questions and earnings call are from retail investors. Tesla is a very investor friendly company when it comes to communication, talking to them about that. So that is one point. Second, there's so many good YouTube resources to follow Tesla. The top two, OG, would be Dave Lee on investing. He's got a very calm, long-term approach, mission-oriented approach on Tesla. And if you want a daily take, Tesla Daily with Rob Auer. These two are solid. If you're on Twitter, like many Tesla investors, then you've also got Sawyer Merritt, who gives very good Twitter updates, breaking news on what's happening for Tesla and the industry. Tesla is one of the most transparent companies to invest in.
Agree.
This year, as we saw the crypto press, many people have been saying, I need to start investing in investments that I can understand. For a long time, every time when someone talks about something crypto related, they say, oh, Ziet, you will make more money. The returns will be, you stake it, you make 8% per month. People have always been wondering, where does the money come from? What does crypto do for me? So that comes to my other point. When you invest in Tesla, most of you are probably in a country where you can see Teslas on the road. The product is physically there. Talk to a friend, ride in one, ask them, is this really a good car? Panel gaps, is it a big problem for you? Why do you buy this car? It's so expensive. In the US, the majority of people who buy Tesla switch from not Mercedes or BMW, which is like the same tier, but the majority of volumes of Tesla in the US come from Honda and Toyota. That means these people are trading up. It is like going from a Nokia phone to an iPhone. Why are people doing that? That answer you can only find when you talk to owners. Analysts, they may not have a lot of insight there. Just like how we use Apple products, we can give you insight on why M1 is so revolutionary. You ask an analyst about M1, it's like it's just another chip with Apple.
It's just another ARM-based chip.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
What's so special?
You ask a design professional, creative professional, what's the big deal for M1? They can tell you an essay. So I think that's my other thing. Just use the product as well, in addition to all those research ways. It sounds like a lot, right? But you don't have to do all. You can pick your own pace. The point here is, even this is just the tip of the iceberg of how much opportunity and research there are for Tesla. In Singapore, when I'm based in, we even have communities for Tesla owners and Tesla investors. The Tesla investor community, a Telegram group in Singapore, is more than 500 people. So any question you want to ask, what is Elon Musk distracted? What's so good about Model 3? Why is Model Y selling so well? What other business lines do they have? What's the big deal about Tesla insurance? There'll be someone answering you. It's very hard to find this community. Ziet and I, as Apple investors, we are quite lonely. Sometimes you just talk to each other only.
Yeah,
We are our own echo chamber. Not much friends.
But I can attest to that. The Tesla's community is really just next level. They are so friendly and they are so accommodating. In fact, today, right before filming this video, I was actually in a Tesla ride with Daren. Daren has kindly asked his friend Farhan to share his ride with me and my girlfriend. So it was really a very eye-opening experience, and maybe a video on that very soon. So very quickly, like, I can share as a investor of Tesla now, a first-time trial user of a Tesla's car, right? It's really eye-opening because it's so quiet. It's something that you have never sat in before, and it's really like you are sitting in the future of automotive, maybe robotaxi, right? So, and also the instrument cluster is just next level. Like my car, the instrument cluster is as laggy as it can get. Right, Android, issues. But with Tesla's instrument cluster, it's so huge, and it shows all the details that you need for your drive, for you to plan your destination. It's just so nice to use, and rightfully so. As a Tesla investor myself, I don't really get the experience to sit inside a Tesla, also Model 3 in Malaysia, right? So having that experience really opens up my eye because I can ask questions that normally you don't get access to unless you really have a car yourself, right? What's the fastest way to charge it? What's the kilowatt to charge it? How much to charge it? Is it really doable to drive in Peninsula from Singapore to Perlis, or just Malacca, Johor, right? Even 300 kilometers kind of drive. I was asking Farhan myself. I'm quite anxious, and it gives me anxiety knowing that my trip takes 450 kilometers, but the car can support 550 kilometers. And to be honest, that's not much buffer zone, not much buffer in terms of distance. So having Farhan, having the Tesla community, having Daren to show me and actually tell me that there's actually, you can plan your route ahead, and actually if you know how to put on the correct settings, we can actually go further than what the average people would use in the city. So I think that's a very valid point. So Daren, I was eating KFC yesterday, and to be honest, I love chicken a lot.
KFC in Malaysia is solid. Number
Yeah.
one.
And to be honest, I actually eat KFC quite a bit, but recently I've toned down. I've gone to gym twice a week, physical training, as you all can see through my Instagram stories. So less chicken, but I have a question for you. A lot of people, actually some people, were saying that the dollar cost averaging is quote unquote dumb in this environment. You are just hatching in falling knives. What's your thought on that? Is DCA that?
I think that not everyone is a genius, and that's okay. You look at Tesla investors from 2013 to 2018, the stock was flat. I was just talking to a long-term Malaysian Tesla investor last night in a friend's wedding dinner, and I was saying they were lonely. Back then, there was no like Tesla daily or the community like that. They were just talking among themselves, saying, "Are we stupid? Are we silly? Like, we just put in the money there, and our investment is flat for 5-6 years, while all our friends are doing better than us." Then they couldn't time it, right? They never knew. No one really knew that from 2018, 2020, boom, the stock went up by 10-15 times. The whole when you're underperforming people with dollar cost average, that's not a bug. That is a feature of dollar cost average. There will be moments where you underperform. There will be moments that you overperform. That's a feature. Dollar cost average doesn't mean you overperform all the time. No. Otherwise, the whole world will be dollar cost averaging. Another point to think about is trading is effective. It's not for everyone. It's a choice. It's not better or worse, it's a choice. Yet, when you see the Fortune 500, the richest people in the world, most of them are not traders. You don't find traders in the Fortune 500. I think wealth is built by building businesses or long-term investing. Long-term investing is also more accessible to more people. It's like, can you become a world champion poker player? Some can. They could make great traders. For everyone else, we can't just listen to advice on YouTube to buy or sell a stock. That is very dangerous and risky. Everyone's personal situation is different.
Right.
So you've got to make a call. To land the point again, for dollar cost averaging, if you're underperforming, it's not a bug, it's a feature. There'll be moments when you underperform. In a few years from now, there'll be moments where you overperform. Don't get too happy, because you will also underperform again a few years after that. That's our journey.
I think that's a good takeaway from what Daren just mentioned. Really, I think the first step is to really understand what is dollar cost averaging. I think the misinformation here is people think dollar cost averaging means you will beat the market, you beat lump sum, you beat every single strategy out there. Just buy, then you outperform. In fact, that is not the case, right? But statistics have shown, historical performance have shown, dollar cost averaging works the best during a bear market. But it dumbs me that people actually say DCA is dumb in this market. So again, it's up to you. I'm not here to recommend that DCA is the best or DCA is the worst or timing is the best, right? Again, ask yourself, what's your investment horizon? What's your financial situation? If you need the cash in the short term, 2 to 3 to 4 years, well, of course, then play around and also adjust your risk appetite. You don't have to go all in and DCA all the time, even though you are, having cash flow issues, right? That's not recommended. Well, obviously, thank you so much for today's session. I've learned a lot from you, a lot on Tesla, and also thank you so much for the first ride in the Tesla Model 3 in Malaysia.
I'm very honored to share the experiences yet today.
I was speechless back then. So, yeah, hopefully we can arrange another ride in a Tesla or maybe with Farhan. Let's see, maybe another filming session in Singapore, hopefully. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to subscribe and also subscribe to Daren's channel. I'll put it over here for you to subscribe. And yeah, take care and see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
the wrap